first, let me know about your museum. Could you speak about your museum again?
The whole thing from the beginning?
No, not from the beginning, but just saying what's your aim with this museum and who built it in 3 sentences.
Okay, so the museum is a much larger complex made of 24 architectural buildings, each designed by a world-renowned architects. So the museum is designed by Stephen Hall. We also have Arata Izuzaki, Sana, Wang Shu, Edo Sosas, David Ajay, so many others. Each one designed a unique structure, almost like a pavilion. So the museum is one of the larger structures that we decided to hold temporary exhibitions. But also, I've been working on a lot of permanent commissions, so in and out of these buildings, in the park, sometimes outside, inside. So a lot of things that you can see that are permanent or semi-permanent, beside the show that I install in the museum space.
And when did you open the museum?
When did I what?
Open the museum.
Yeah, I opened the museum in 2013, so almost 7 years ago in November, so this month. So we celebrate 7 years. Yeah.
I could see, seeing you all over the world, that you are a very sharp collector, right?
Yes, I collect art, yes.
But you go to a lot of fairs, a lot of shows all over the world.
Not as much as I want to now.
Yeah, now no, yeah. For sure, but before, yes.
Yeah. And so, but I used to go a lot. Yeah.
And this year you decided to go. You decided to show a Swiss artist.
Swiss artist, yes. Yes. So magnificent artist, yes.
So why did you choose her? Tell me everything about her.
Oh, I collected her work from early on. And in the recent years, I found a lot of Chinese collectors started to collect her work. So many of my friends and people that I don't know of are collecting her works in depth. So one of the reasons that I chose to do it because I thought shipping would be very easy. Well, but anyway, the artist, I liked her from the very beginning, and I think she's a master painter, and still quite undervalued or under the radar. Maybe not as much as now because she did 6 institution shows last year. So I went to her studio 2 years ago with the curator Xiao Yu. She works for Guggenheim.
Yeah.
She sometimes take a.
You didn't give us her name.
Xiao Yu?
No. The name of the artist.
Miriam Cahn, sorry.
Miriam Cahn, okay.
Miriam Cahn, yes. So yeah, me and the curator, after Basel, it was in June, so we drove down to her studio, which is on the border of the Swiss-Italy border. And she's almost like, it's in the Alps, and her studio is pretty nice, but there's nobody around her. It's almost like she's in a very seclusive place by herself. And she's a very strong woman. She carries all her paintings by her own. There's about hundreds of paintings in her studio, and she carries them around every day, moving them around. Which is why the frames to her canvas are always made very light, very thin, and sometimes they change shape. So when we install these paintings, they sometimes are not the perfect square or the perfect rectangle. But that's just how she wants it because she wants to move them around freely. So we saw a lot of her work, and because of the coming institutional shows after our visit, she had to kind of divide up the works. So the works that can be saved for our show, which is 2 years later in 2020. And she was basically picking up a painting almost one by one from the rack and asked me and Xiao Yu to choose if we want to show the work or not. And she gives us only 5 seconds to decide. Want it or not? If we say no, puts it back. Want it or not? Yes. And then she puts it on the other place. So we have to decide very quickly whether or not we want to show the work.
How many work from her do you possess?
Many. She has a lot of paintings.
No, but you, how many do you possess?
How many we show?
No, you.
Me. I have about 10 paintings.
And how many did you show?
We showed. We were gonna show around 70 paintings, but in the middle of the discussion and also in the middle of the transportation and custom clearing process, some of these works could not be shown because because China poses a very strong censorship now on nudity. So yeah, a lot of the ones that the genitals are shown, because sometimes Miriam depicts them quite explicitly, and those ones we had to take them out of the bunch. But at the end, because we had so many Chinese friends who collect our work, I just made a few phone calls, and then it was I think we had the 70 paintings again. So yeah, it was very easy. A lot of these paintings, the Chinese collectors put them at homes. So very easy for me to get them from Beijing, Chengdu, Shanghai, Hangzhou. Yeah, and I was able to meet new collectors as well. Collectors that I had no idea of collect our work, and they all came to the exhibition opening.
Wow! And tell me, did you go to the fairs this year? The two fairs?
Westbound, yes.
Westbound and R21.
Yes, I did. Yes.
So did you buy stuff?
I bought some stuff before that. On the PDF. I just had to go there and see if it's good or not. I held it after seeing the PDF, and I went there quickly and saw.
But you are you are collecting very international oriented, right?
Yes.
So what did you buy, for example?
I bought a Kusama. I bought a Ankart. I bought a Hilary Passis. What else did I buy? A Chinese artist, a Japanese artist. Yes.
Oh, that's interesting. And what do you think about what's going on with the art market in China now?
It's almost the first fair this year because Hong Kong was cancelled, and we couldn't go to Frieze or couldn't go to Taiwan for any of the international fairs. So it was the first fair for me, I'm sure, for the first fair for almost all the Chinese collectors.
Yeah.
I had a feeling that everybody was very anxious to spend money. Yes, everyone was saving to spend money. It was the first proper art fair in China this year, and to be honest, I don't think the galleries brought good works because none of the gallery owners, especially the international ones, they couldn't come. So they had to find a local sales to watch over the booth. And for that, I felt that they didn't bring A-grade works. But it's fine because the owners cannot be here. Westbound used to have 3 pavilions, the main hall, and then the hall B1, B2, B3, 4 pavilions. And this year, only the main hall is occupied. And B1 was changed to a design fair. And B2 and B3 was dedicated to projects.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can see almost the size of the fair is 1/4 of what it was last year because of a lot of the galleries couldn't come. Yeah, but still, it was amazing. The queue in front of the Westbound goes around for almost 2 kilometers.
And R21 too, I think it was
overcrowded. So crowded. Yeah, just you couldn't even walk in there. Yeah, so crowded. So
it means China wants contemporary art now.
China always wants contemporary art.
But more and more.
Huh?
More and more.
More and more, yes. I have a feeling that we have I get to know a new collector every day. So all these collectors who are in finance, who are in fashion design, in interior design, they all jump into collecting contemporary art. These people in China have a lot of money, but they don't have the channels to buy art before. And the fair is a very easy way for them to get to know the fair owners and to get to know the works. And I just feel like it's a growing, like a fast growing market. I'm not sure I can say that for any other market in the world, but China is. Yeah.